down one night with Papa tell Mama.
Wakey, 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 wakey.
What Papa tell Mama?
It's the morning show with Roy Fuller. Wake up, wake up.
So we walked in here today to talk to you about B Monthly,
Yeah.
and then we've got this entire mission sitting right in front of us, so we can't help but ask you some questions about that and tell us the story behind that.
Wow, well, we have been doing warming shelters for the last 4 years when it gets really cold.
Kind of like what you were talking about with the
Yeah.
coats. You know, it starts with a little thing,
Little thing.
and then we get to know these people. And when we had the warming shelter, they might like, you know, it's Oklahoma, so it might be 65 degrees and then it's 20 degrees. And then, you know, you get like 4 or 5 days really, really cold.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have them staying with us. And in that amount of time, if, you know, if there's not a lot of mental health issue involved and maybe not a ton of drugs involved, then we can just see like, okay, what's really going on and figure out some good short-term, long-term solutions for them in that short term, but figure out, okay, long-term, this is what you guys need.
So we started that with Rando and Shiloh, who own, they have the church, Get Real Ministries. So we just started doing warming shelters and feeding people and doing things like that. And we wanted to kind of break away because we like to do our own thing. And so we just broke away.
Just say it, I'm super bossy and
Yeah.
I know about how
And
things
so,
run.
yeah, and so we just started looking for our own place to do a warming shelter. And so this building came.
And they were thankful. They're like, okay,
Yeah,
good. 'Cause
yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, it's
It's a lot.
it is
The house,
emotionally
you know,
and
the house,
everything.
37 people. I mean, last year we had 37 people in our building here.
12 dogs and 1 cat.
Yeah, for 11 days. And so to feed and house and you know, people coming off drugs and all the things that happen. Of course, I'm a former drug addict myself. I've been 17 years clean, a cocaine addict, and we experienced loss with our son, Tyler, who was passed away 15 years ago. So we know about loss. We know about, you know, I was homeless.
Hopelessness, which is really where they're at.
Really, it's where they're at. And so anyway, we got this lady showed us this building. They showed us the gym over here and said, will this work for your shelter?
I'll take you in there.
Yeah. And we're saying, yeah, this would be great. And she said, well, I can't lease it to you even for $1 unless you're a nonprofit. And so at that time, Be the Light was not anything. So we scrambled around. We got our lawyer, sent the paperwork in, and it said it would take 4 to 6 months to get your nonprofit number. Well, the first God move for us was that in 30 days we got our number. 30 days to be a nonprofit. That's unheard of. So we were able to open up, and then she called us again a week later and said, can I meet with you guys? And then she said, I talked with the board of directors nationally in Oklahoma, and we want to donate the building to you, Christy.
The whole building.
58,000 square feet. So that became,
And he started crying when she said that.
That is just,
Oh, yeah.
that is
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because he's the emotional one. I was like, what's the
so
electric bill?
unexpected.
Yeah.
oh,
It was it was something we had always thought, wouldn't it be great if, you know, but it was listed for a lot, you know, and had been for a while.
yeah, almost $1 million for 2 years.
And not knowing the shape of the building. I mean, you know, you guys have seen some of what it looked like, but when we had the warming shelter, because then we moved in and started the warming shelter in 2 days.
Yep.
I think because the cold snap hit and we got everything, got our insurance and everything like literally 24 hours before. But all of these doors were locked. So we had no idea. So we have the whole building, but we don't know. It's like,
And that was in
behind
January.
door number 5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in January, and we didn't get the building until July of last year.
Yeah.
They donated the building to us July of last year. We got a $100,000 grant from the Lion Foundation here in Bartlesville to start construction, and we started in September. And there's there's been a lot of things that we've had to do because this building, for what it used to be. When they built it in 1960, it was a government building. They did a lot of testing with oil and gas companies. So we've had to go through a lot of hoops and a lot of testing to get approved.
Oh,
Even though the hospital was in here for 20 years, it was zoned commercial, so it was safe for commercial use. But to have that residential component that we were bringing in, it had to meet a new standard.
Right.
And so they wanted to test
Air quality.
air quality at a different level. So they said, you're fine, 8 to 10 hours a day, but if you sleep, it might be different, so we have to test. Well, it took about 11 months to get that test done.
And we
Wow.
came back,
Meanwhile, people are like, why are you not open? What are you
Wow.
doing? We're like, we're trying.
because we came back clean, all the testing came back clean. So
did they have to test the soil?
Yeah,
As well?
Yep.
yeah, that was the very last thing they did was the soil, but
it came back good.
they did everything you can imagine.
Radium, mercury,
That's awesome.
radiation, everything's been tested in this
And
building.
they actually said it was remarkable.
Yeah.
It was so clean, so, we knew that all along, cause we thought, we're not gonna be given this building, which is just perfect for what we need,
Yeah.
and all the things that have lined up for it to not work.
Because
you
for
know?
months and months, we couldn't even open a door to see what was inside that door. We had in our head, we know we wanted to be able to house 20 men, we wanna house, these many women, we gotta keep them separate, blah, 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 but, for months and months, we could not even open one door. And so finally, the hospital started unlocking all the doors, and,
Well, and it was funny, cause we had gone to one of our homeless guys that's still around here and there. He would come in the warming shelters, and one time he was like, I need some cording and a needle. And I was like, what kind of needle? What are we talking about? And he said, no, I wanna fix everybody's backpacks while I'm sitting here. I was like, that's so great. Like, where did you learn to think like this? And he said, this place called Water Gardens. So in that time of us like trying to figure out what we wanted to do, we went to Joplin. Ironically, it was in Joplin. We're like, no, we haven't tried back to Joplin. I don't want to go to Joplin. But we went back there, saw that place, went to Dallas.
Several times.
We went to, all these different places and started studying what we wanted to do. And we went into Water Gardens. I was like, well, there's this long hall with all these doors to make up these rooms. I mean, there's no place like that in Bartlesville. We walk in here and I was like, oh,
Right.
look, there's a long hall with all these doors. And then there was like this huge shop. And, they're showing us the building. They're like, oh, did we show you the shop? And I'm like, no. I mean, everything that they had, and some of it, theirs were in different buildings.
Yeah.
All the places we've been to, it's like, well, you gotta go across town to go to our shop. You gotta go across town to get to our clothing thing. And ours is all in one building.
All inclusive.
And it was just like, this building was literally made for this.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
See, I was thinking like an old mall or something.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
That
turn
would
one
be,
into like, the housing and then one into.
yes,
Yeah.
I know, and there's
Yeah.
lots of old walls to be found.
yes, there are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole thing's been, you don't really see a lot of husband and wives that do work together here at the magazine and also have the heart for the people that we have the heart for. You don't see that very often.
They're literally like our children.
They are like our kids. And we've got a really bad homeless issue here in Bartlesville. And I know the city wants to address it, and, we have the lighthouse here. They're always full. We're a lot different than the lighthouse. We're thankful the lighthouse is here, but we do things much different than the lighthouse does. You can only stay here 15 months. We make you work. If you don't work, you can't stay here. There's just a lot of different things that we're gonna set up. We're gonna teach you how to get back into society again. Because you have to think, for a homeless person, the three things they think about the most every day is where I'm gonna get water, where am I gonna get food, and where I'm gonna sleep. Those are the three things. We don't worry about that every day. We know we're gonna go home. We know we got food in the refrigerator. So those three things is what they think about the most. Of course, if you got drugs involved, that's a whole different thing. But I've been to 6 drug treatment centers myself over the last 30 years, so I know about addiction and how it can change your life. And so we can deal with the addiction, we can deal with the loss, we can deal with the hopelessness, because our whole motto.
He gets very emotional. He does, this big, strong guy. You wanna say it, you want me to say it?
No. We give love to the lost, we give hope to the hopeless. healing to the broken.
Food for the hungry and shelter for the struggling. Because he knows what it feels like. And that's where he comes in, like when the drug addict comes in and they're screaming at me and acting crazy, and I know that's not them, you know, and so I'm like annoyed usually, and if I'm not, sometimes it can be scary, not usually, but he goes and sits with them and just usually starts to cry, because he's like, I get it, I know right where you are. And we've sent a lot of people to rehab. He can get them like just to face the reality of like, this is where you're at. I mean, you know, for me, I'm like, let me tell you what your mama's feeling like, you know. I mean, that's kind of, so good cop, bad cop kind of thing. But
I don't think any of that would have happened without Be Monthly.
yeah,
None of this would have happened without Be Monthly, because Be Monthly has brought, you know, there's not a company that we don't know or hasn't advertised in Be Monthly. And so it's easy for us to go out and get help from different companies, because there's no one that gets paid here. There's no salary, no one's on salary. And this won't work without the community, because we have to have volunteers. We can't be up here 24 hours a day. And so it's big that we get the community, and they have been supportive. And now that we're really close to opening up, I think the support will be even more. But it all started with Be Monthly.
because we can do that job. We've done it long enough. I mean, it's every 3 weeks, you know, your life, print a new magazine. So as long as we can work ahead and stay focused and keep everybody as happy as we possibly can, then we can kind of switch hats, walk down the hall, and do what we need to do. Because we're open during the day, so anybody can come in and ask for resources, or they can call. And even though we're not open, I won't and he won't just say, sorry, we'll find them housing. We'll find them a place to go. Now, they might not like some of the choices, but we don't just say we're closed, we're not open yet, because I mean, that's
We are
not a
open.
good answer. Yeah, and you know, and a lot of them, I mean, there's a lot of sober living houses here. There's a lot more known than others, so some of ours are newer and they're always available for an opening, and it's male and female. And you know, some of the hardest things is just a lot of people won't take the pets.
Yeah,
so,
and I think it's, you know, it's probably more building relationships with these people, because we see them every day. When you drive downtown Bartlesville, you see them every day. But if you stop and talk to them, some of these people are brilliant, brilliant. Just to be homeless, you have to be so resourceful. Start a fire, do all those things that you have to do to survive. Some of these people that we've met over the years, it's just unbelievable. And you would think
and they went to school with us.
They went to school with us.
Like
They're Martians.
back to Madison, a lot of them. And
Yeah.
because you know how you see somebody and you're like, I think I know you, and then they.
But we've all
Talk
been
about
there where we're all a paycheck away from being broke, not having any money in the bank. We all been there. And so for these people, COVID was horrible for our homeless community, horrible. And probably put more people on the streets than anything else did. Because COVID, you know, even though the government was giving checks out every month, it still wasn't enough, especially for those moms who had 2 kids and has 3 jobs, and those jobs stopped. You know, COVID was horrible for the homeless community. It changed everything.
But we do go back, we always say it's not like a transaction.
No.
Because a lot of people do want to just give them money, and we're like, please. I mean, if you feel completely like you're supposed to, we tell people we don't want to say no, but it's typically not going to be a good answer for them. You know, send them to the resource, whether it's us or the Lighthouse or Agape or Salvation Army or somebody that is going to try to hone down on what the actual issue is to help them. We make a lot of homeless people mad.
We do.
It's like I said, they're like our kids. I'm like, I am not here to make you happy. I'm here to help you. That's it, you know. And so then they'll cuss us out and come back later, and then we just start over. But we know their names. We've known them. I mean, some of them we've known 8 years now. So they trust us.
But we have so many success stories.
And it's their success story.
It's their success stories, but because we help them, they're good now. They have their own business, they have their own house, they have their own car.
They got their family back.
And that's so important for us. And, you know, every May, Mother's Day weekend, we do a concert called Grace Fest. which started with Be Monthly. Now it benefits us at Be the Light, but it's a free concert that we have at the Green Space, and this will be our 5th one that we're gonna do this year. But we do that to raise money. We did it for Journey Home, the first 2 years that we did the concert. So we gave them $10,000 each year. So now we do it for Be the Light, but that's, it's 1,500, 2,000 people at the Green Space listening to a good Christian concert. Which was,
Nice.
again, goes back to Be Monthly. So
Be the
everything,
Light, yeah.
well, it's Be
Well,
the Light, but everything
Be-
starts.
Yeah, there's a lot of bees in our world. I was like, I never thought I would be the girl wearing a big bee on my t-shirt, but apparently I'm
Yeah.
a big bee, or a little bee, whichever the case may be. Never thought that would be the case, but it is, yeah.
It is now.
How many staff, how many people do you have helping do this right now?
Right now, we probably have 4.
No.
Me and you,
Me
these
and
two,
you.
yeah, and then Miriam, you met Miriam, so she comes, a couple days a week, and then, works at or volunteers at Agape on Tuesdays, and she has a full-time job. That's the thing, our other 2 great volunteers,
Retired.
yeah, and one of them's 83, been my mom's best friend since the 2nd grade, so, but she is great, like yesterday, we had a guy that needed some community service for drug court. So Karen, also, who went to high school with us, calls from drug court and was like, he needs 10 hours by Friday. Like, got it. Yes. Bring him. He's not gonna have fun, but yes, he'll be inside.
But what's been pretty cool though is like Wesleyan University,
college.
Yeah, college. They sent their freshmen, all their freshmen, 235 freshmen, to our building
At once.
for 2 hours. So that's over
We had
500
color-coded
hours.
jobs. I was like, oh gosh, okay.
And then we've had the
Right.
football team here. We've had so many different organizations.
And it truly, as you guys probably know, they're more affected and impacted than the people they're serving, or just being in the building. I mean, they're truly,
Wow.
it's a
Yeah.
big opportunity for both sides.
Sure it is.
Our whole push for Be the Light mission is that we need 500 people in the city of Bartlesville that has over 37,000 people. And if you look at Washington County, it's over 48,000 people, to give $20 a month. If 500 people gave $20 a month, that would pay for our bills. Because it costs about $9,000.
That's not much at all.
It's not much at all.
It doesn't seem hard to do, but we're trying to get that message out because, like I said, we do not take any money for
Yeah.
this. We spend the majority of our days here, which is helpful now that Be Monthly is here. So we literally just go up and down the hall, but, the other people that volunteer, they give 4 and 5 hours a day, a couple days a week, sometimes more or less, depending on the project going on. But, it's the bills that are kind of a big deal, because we don't want to be like, we're open now, turn off the lights. Nobody have a light on in this building.
And I'm big about that, so I don't turn a lot of lights on.
And
But
things like the elevator broke, and, there's all the little things that we just,
and when you have to turn the air conditioner on, that's $4,000 or more a month when the air conditioner runs. And so, literally with all the insurance and cars and the things we have to have insured here, it's $9,400 a month to keep this building open. And that's
Wow.
without anybody in it yet. So anyway, we really need the community to step up and, do the $20 a month, because that's gonna change a person's life. And it's not a lot. I spend $20 at Quick Trip every week or whatever. So it's not asking for a lot, and that's what, right now, we're up to 146 people that give, some of them give more than $20 a month. But we do now have 146 people monthly given every month. So we just need that number to keep growing, and so we can help get these people off the streets of Bartlesville and give them a purpose. That's what they're looking for more than anything, is a purpose. Because you can't get a job if you don't have a driver's license.
Or an address.
An address.
so a lot of the homeless use our address. And so they'll come up from the woods and they'll call, because they've all got cell phones. They'll say, do I have an email? Yes, you do. So, but I say you gotta make it, don't just show up on the fly, because you don't know. So they've learned, you gotta make sure she's there or they're there, and we have files on them, so we keep their mail for them, and some of them get their social security checks just delivered straight here, because they know they won't get stolen or nothing will happen to to them, so, we started that about 6 months ago with their mail.
Mhm.
But it's interesting, the obstacles that, are not that hard for us. You know, if you just give them a little bit of a brainstorm, like, okay, well, what if we tried it this way? We can solve that hurdle, let's move on to the next thing. And so, you know, like, Ben gets a GED here, they can get any kind of, certification that you can get online, we can do here. We'll
Working
help
with
them.
Tri-County Tech.
Yeah, they came yesterday
Yep.
to really get, cause we need plumbers, we need, you know, HVAC guys, we need all the things that the city seems to be lacking, or really all over
Yep.
seem to be lacking.
Yep.
So anyway, we just wanna help them do what they wanna do and realize they are here for a reason, and they're not hopeless. Like, we believe there's, you know, cause I say, okay, he
That's
went to
really
rehab
great.
6 times. What if he would've given up on the 5th time? And was like, you can't give up. He could, you know, you gotta just try one more time. And we'll always say, just for us, just one more time for us, and then let's see what happens. And we're always like, okay, you know, but we believe in him.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We sure do.
So is there like a group that somebody can join as far as being one of the 500 people? Is there like any kind of
There
way to
is.
sign up for that, or?
We have we have a QR code on our website, and we have, I think, we put something out on Facebook, like Giving Tuesday. We're not good at that part of things. Fundraising, I'm like, I can do so much more than trying to figure out how to do that, but it is important, so thank you for asking.
Our website is b-thelight.org. So b-thelight.org.
Sure, we'll add it on
Yeah.
here too.
And then our Facebook is Be the Light Mission, and
We share a lot more personal stories, and then in the magazine now, we give an update every month, kind of what's going on here, because we feel like if people just drive by and they see like, oh, you're having a fundraiser, or you're doing this, but what are you really doing? So we try to be super transparent so they can see, and we invite anybody, anytime to come in and take a tour.
Yeah.
Cause that really
you don't
is
get
the
it
best
till
way.
you see it. You don't get it till you see the building. You know, you can drive by all day long, but when you walk through here and see what we've done to this building, you'll get it. You'll figure it out, what we're doing here. And that's the most important thing. So we are
Some
gonna
of it's not
have,
easier than others, because I swear, like, it's, I mean, some of the things y'all have said is like, that's just like right exactly in line with like ideas and stuff that I've had that I've wanted to do with.
I
Mhm.
love that.
And
So that means you're in.
You're in.
That's
You
what
got it,
it
yes.
sounds like.
Yeah.
your
it's-
heart's in it.
yeah,
If your
and-
heart's not in it, you're not gonna be in it.
Yeah.
I mean, period.
There's some people that are like, I just wanna give money and
That's
I
it.
don't wanna see them or talk, you know, but they wanna help, but they're like, mm-mm. And which is great, I mean, we
And
need that
that's okay
too.
Yeah.
Yes, we need those people.
You need all the
Yes.
support you
Yeah.
can get.
And it's,
And
However,
there's nothing we will
cool.
not take on donations,
we
because
do take everything in this building when was donated, everything, like, and because we have a garage sale, so we're like, well, what would you give to, wherever.
It's
Mhm.
funny, because I've got a garage full of like miscellaneous stuff that I went and picked up that I don't really have any
You know
place
where to
take
go
it.
now.
I don't know.
Just- yeah.
you know where to go, bring it here.
Yes.
I've got
Take
like,
it.